occupational hazard, but I had to run to the bathroom and I was afraid I would come back and find that someone had taken my figurine of the girl hugging her dog. Crisis averted. Today I am sitting outside the Goodwill at the corner of Covington Highway and South Harrison Road in Decatur, Georgia. I'm going to head inside and see if I can find anything to help me restock my antique and vintage booth. Starting off in the figurines aisle, I found a cute little Santa votive made of stained glass. I really love stained glass. Oh, hello, ma'am. I'm very sorry you ended up here in a Goodwill store. I like the chunky stained glass, and I think he qualifies. Pretty little pottery plate, 89 cents. This would probably be at least $3.09 at the Stone Mountain Goodwill. Prices here are definitely better, but $3.09 for this is kind of outrageous, to be honest. What are these glasses called? I know there's a special name for them. $3.09 a piece. There are 3 of them. Pretty serving dish. $3.09 for that. Some of you will be pleasantly surprised, and some of you might be mortified, but I actually really like these little dolls, and I love their outfits with the aprons, with the windmills on them. I just think they're adorable. What else do we have on the figurines aisle? What is this? Some kind of tomahawk, I guess? That's interesting. Another little doll. She's also cute. I really love this heart-shaped casserole. It's not vintage and it has a huge chip. I would probably get it if it weren't for the chip. It's really cute. What world is this? $9.09. It's all cellophaned up. You can't see the maker on it. I've placed this figurine in my cart and I'm going to look it up. I'm always drawn to eggs, but not at that price. It's a pretty one though. Oh, what is down here? This is lovely. Let's see if it's made in Japan. No, it's made in England. It's even more special than I thought. We are definitely putting this little one in the cart. That's just pretty. I'll check it over for chips and cracks in a minute. Wow. And it has its lid. The lid seems perfect at first glance too. These are pretty. $3.99 for this set of salt and pepper shakers. I'm going to put these in the cart and think about them as well. Thought these would be Campbell soup bowls, but I guess I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure on that. Let's see, someone destroyed the sticker on this. It's just a kind of a plain white covered casserole. All right, I'm looking for plates for my plate wall. I really could use some. And I have not been having much luck on that recently. I like pie dishes. I always have to look at pie dishes. All right, so lots of plates today, but nothing too terribly interesting. I like this, I don't know if it's a soup tureen, I guess. It is $3.09 and it's got an embossed stamp that says made in Japan in the bottom. It actually has some nice looking natural crazing on it. and I like the fruits. It's missing its ladle, and the top is a different color. So I've put this little Tureen in my cart, even though it is rather lightweight. Here's some Corelle. I like Corelle. I think it would be so much fun to collect the coffee cups in all their different patterns. All right, I need something for my plate wall. So that means I'm gonna have to dig through these stacks. I think this is new. It's got some wear on the design. I love Christmas dishes. I really, really do, but they're not gonna sell, so can't get them. But I still like to look. They want $7.09 for this stack. All right, anything exciting in coffee cups? These are cute. 89 cents a piece. The prices here are so much better. Those would be $1.09 at this time at Goodwill, possibly $1.39. There's your restaurant ware down here, all bundled together, $4.09 for all of these together. Here's the creamer that goes with the cups. I'll put them all together in case someone wants them. They're very lightweight. $1.39 for the creamer. Not seeing anything too exciting in coffee cups, which is probably a good thing because I really need to sell some before I buy anymore. I've overdone it a little bit on the coffee cups. This is a pretty little creamer. I think I'm gonna put it in the cart and let's see. It looks like it says Lenox. Whenever I find a fish, I always think of Romy from Romy's Retro. If you don't watch him on YouTube, you should. He is just lovely. There's a soup mug, $1.09. It's cute, but only one of them. And I couldn't find the matching sugar bowl, so I'm going to put this creamer back. Occupational hazard, but I had to run to the bathroom and I was afraid I would come back and find that someone had taken my figurine of the girl hugging her dog. Crisis averted. Oh, look at this Disney snow globe, but it's $9.09. I love Disney. No luck finding any Beanie Babies, but I got these little sock toys, sock monkeys, whatever you call them. Not vintage, but they're nice and clean. That was a split-second decision to drive to this Goodwill. I was just going to Ingles to get some groceries for our dinner tonight, and my car just kept driving to the Goodwill because I knew that there was one down the road a piece from the Ingles where I go. And I'm so glad I went in there. They gave me a price at the register of $3.09 for my beautiful English teapot. I think I'm gonna have to do some deep diving to figure out what my lovely figurine, the girl with her dog hugging her, is. So I will do that deep diving into the interwebs, and then I will come back to you once I'm at home with the information on how much I spent and how much I should be able to price these items for in my antique and vintage booth. All right, so I'm back at home and it was a busy weekend. I have a helper, Zoe. Okay, put Zoe down. It was a busy weekend. Our son Isaiah is 23 and he just moved from an apartment into a house with 2 other roommates. And so yesterday we went and helped him just a little bit with his bed frame, which had broken somehow, and my husband fixed that, and we brought them some little snacks and stuff. But also kind of sad to say that Isaiah, both of his roommates are allergic to cats, so all of this came up at the last minute too, so there wasn't like a whole lot of like planning ahead that went on, unfortunately, and we ended up with Oscar. He's over here. There's Oscar in the window right now in the cat tree. What this means is that we have our 3 cats plus our foster cat plus Oscar. Anyway, it's a lot, and then we have our 3 dogs. So I do have some pet outtakes for you at the end of this video. It's been a while since we've had some. Alrighty, so I had to get Oscar all settled and everything, and I don't have any recipe videos yet, or recipe outtakes yet, but I do want to talk about that at the end of the video as well. Alright, the first thing that I'm so excited to share with you is this beautiful teapot. When I put these into Google Lens, I found that there are a lot of these that were made in Japan that are not English China teapots, so lots of those came up. But mine is actually a made in England piece, and I'm not sure if you can see the stamp. It's right here. It probably won't show up because it's such a dark color. But I believe that this is a Price Brothers Brown Betty English teapot dating back to between the 1940s and 1960s. I got a price at the cash register. I did have to wait for a manager to come up to give us a price, but it didn't take her long to get there, and she sold it to me for just $3.09. So I was super pleased with this. I've checked it very carefully, and it is in perfect condition. Even the gold right here on the spout is in perfect condition, so it almost looks like it was never used. I just adore the little hand-painted daisies on it. So I'm not sure how to price this. As excited as I was about it, it's not that high ticket of an item. So I am going to try $28, maybe start at $32, and if I need to, I can always mark it down if I have to. I just think it's so pretty though. All right, next, I've been having trouble finding Beanie Babies, and I found a couple at that store, but they were $3, so they've gone from $1.11 to $3 now at Goodwill, so that's frustrating. But these are vintage inspired little sock monkey toys. The color of the day was orange, so they were just 45 cents a piece. And I will probably put $4 or $5 on them and just put them in my display with the Beanie Babies to help add some color and just to bulk it up a little bit, because it's looking pretty slim these days. I just have not been able to find any Beanie Babies. Even at the Value Village, which was where we went recently, in my last thrift haul video, there were none. I looked at every baggie and I couldn't find any there either, which was strange. Okay, the star of the show, and the reason why I was afraid when I had to run to the restroom that someone might take this out of my cart was because, of course I looked it up really quickly in the store on Google Lens, and Google Lens suggested that it might be a Yadro. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So, it's not. Silly me, right? But the strange thing is I can't figure out what it is. Google Lens, or Google AI, insists that it is a 1987 Puppy Love sculpture by D. Crowley, a sculptor for Austin Productions. However, when you type in all of that information, 1987 Puppy Love sculpture by Austin Productions, this is not what comes up. I'll show you a photo here of the sculpture that does come up, which is clearly not what I have here. So I'm completely stumped. I have no idea what this is. It is very nice. It's large and heavy. There's no damage on it whatsoever. It has a lovely glaze on it. You can kind of see the glaze underneath her dress where it dripped down here a little bit. And then here's the bottom of it. This is what the bottom looks like. So, I just really don't know what this is other than I really like it. It was $7.09. I had a viewer tell me about an app called Antique Snap. That's about the only thing I haven't tried. I've tried Google's AI, the lens feature in eBay, and the lens feature in Etsy, and then I also tried the lens feature in replacements.com, because replacements.com, I always think of it for like dishes and stuff, but they do have an entire section on collectibles. So replacements.com couldn't find anything. I'm completely stumped. Not much is coming up for this girl. I found one for sale on, I think it was Etsy, and the seller just described it as a girl hugging her dog figurine. Maybe that's what I should do. It is substantial and it's nice and heavy. Let's see, I guess, so I have no idea how to price it because I have no idea what it is. but I did pay $7.09 for it, and I'll probably put $36 on it. I don't know. What do you think? I'm just at a loss here. Next, the Angelfish figurine that reminded me of Romy from Romy's Retro. If you don't watch him on YouTube, you should check him out. He does almost all thrifting videos, and he's just really good. He's really good at filming in the store, a lot better than I am. So anyway, whenever I see a fish, it reminds me of him. I thought this was a really nice figurine. It was $2.09, and I'll put $12 to $14 on it. That's what the bottom looks like. All right, and then my salt and pepper shakers are Pottery Craft. It says Pottery Craft USA. I know that, but I'm not sure what it says right here. I think it might be a copyright because there's a little C right there with a circle, but I don't know. They're 1970s. I just think they're really cool. They're called sandstone stoneware. The set was $4 and there's no damage, so that was really nice. Let's see. Oh, I can see it better on this one. It says made in the USA. And it's not a little C. It's just a little circular stamp of some sort. I will put $22 on those as well. I have to explain the pet outtakes and talk more about vintage recipe cooking. The pet outtakes are of Callie and Bear and Ruby, and just to show you how unexcited that Callie has been lately about eating her dog food. She doesn't like kibble, even when it's mixed with wet food, whereas, Bear and Ruby are like, whatever you want to feed us, we're happy to eat it. So it was a combination of that and just her terrible allergies. I went to YouTube and I just typed in homemade dog food recipe for dogs with allergies, and it led me to this vet in Canada, and he's more of a holistic vet. His YouTube channel is called Veterinary Secrets, and I just watched a couple of his videos and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make her food. And I make it for all of them, but it's expensive for one thing, and she's such a large dog that I focus primarily on her, and because my two smaller dogs still really enjoy their dog food. So these pet outtakes are just showing you the difference in Callie and trying to give her, traditional dog food, and then how excited she gets when I give her the homemade food. I didn't do a whole cooking segment yet. I'm a little bit wary of doing the dog food cooking demonstration because I just think it will confuse the algorithm. It's just way too different from what the purpose of this channel is. So I think the best thing is that if I'm gonna do vintage cooking demonstrations, that they will go on the end. They shouldn't be extremely long because I will speed up things and cut things that are unnecessary. I think that given that so many of you, myself included, really love vintage cookbooks, that it is relevant to the channel because it will be a recipe from a vintage cookbook. And I also like the idea of me wearing a vintage apron when I'm doing these segments. I have one. I've had more of them over the years, but I sold them in the booth, so I probably will have to start buying some on Etsy or something, and they'll probably be ridiculously expensive compared to. I found the one that I have in mind to wear, the only one that I have, I found it in a free box at an estate sale. So it's one of those vintage terry cloth aprons, half apron. So it's like wearing a towel wrapped around your waist, which is very handy when you're cooking because I wash my hands a lot and dry them a lot. And then, I also have to mention that I do like a full-sized apron too. And one of the workers at the last estate sale that I went to, she had a beautiful vintage apron, and I was like, I really like the pockets because she had all her pens and her highlighters in them. And she was like, oh, thank you. I sew them on myself. And I was like, wow, you are very industrious. And I really admire people who are, because I have a sewing machine in my basement, and I think I've used it twice in all the years that I've had it. And I've had it for 8 years. So it's just one of those things that I never get around to, is trying to, use my sewing machine and get better at it. But anyway, so the estate sale over the weekend, where I was going to go back on the last day I thought the last day was going to be Sunday, so I drove back by there on Sunday, and it was already, the estate sale was already over, so the last day was clearly Saturday, and I missed the last day. I really wanted to go back and get those copper kitchen canisters, and I just completely missed out on them because I just misread the email, I guess. A lot of people have really sentimental memories that revolve around these old cookbooks, and I had a viewer who told me that she got this cookbook when she got married in the 1970s, and that her favorite recipe in here is a recipe for muffins. So I'll probably have to wait on that a little bit. I could do that in LJ at the cabin because we have a much more efficient air conditioner up there, but if I use the oven in our house in Atlanta, it just heats up the house so bad, and our air conditioning already really struggles to keep up here. So I will either do cold salads or something like that, or I can do the baked recipes up at the cabin. I really do want to try it though. I think it will be a fun thing, and I don't think it's irrelevant to the channel. So thank you to everyone who voted on whether or not you would like to see vintage recipe demonstrations. I think it will be fun. All right, well, I guess that's it for today other than the pet outtakes. Thank you so much for being here today. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It is completely free to subscribe to someone's YouTube channel. Thank you again for watching, and as always, I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Bear, time to eat. Oh, goes Bear. Callie, you hungry? Callie, time to eat. You don't want it? Oh. Come on, Callie. Oh wait, Ruby came. All right, Callie, I'm gonna give Ruby hers. Ruby? Okay. There. Let's see if she'll eat it today. Your food. Yep, that's a hard pass. Time to make the dog food. Alrighty. You hungry? She knows what it is. Can you sit? Good sit. There you go, girl.